Looking at all my online fake holiday calendars, it was clear that January, the month of fresh starts and new resolutions, of veganuary and dry January, was a gift for the special day follower. But the naively energetic optimism I felt at the start of my project was undercut by the gloom of COVID, which all 5 members of the family caught over Christmas, and the prospect of several days of self-isolation. The papers had pages and pages on how to become the better you, how not to self-sabotage your new resolutions, or, in an extraordinary twist, how to come to terms with the self you already are. New year, same old you. The secret to self-improvement is embracing your messy, imperfect life. I dove in, looking for tips for my own project, but so much positivity and self-work quickly left me overwhelmed and depressed. Perhaps you could make a wholehearted commitment to accepting who I already am, I said to Eve, slightly misquoting psychologist Oliver Burkeman. I did that years ago, she smiled. I didn't believe her for a second. One day over Christmas, as we were watching telly with my mum, and I'd just helped myself to another unnecessary beer, Eve WhatsApped me from her sofa to mine with a screenshot of the NHS recommended alcohol units. I've always had a tricky relationship with booze, coercing everyone to stay for one more round by night, next morning righteously tipping the bottles down the sink. I've seen the damage alcohol can do, and these days I am more interested in life extension than narcotic revelation. But old habits die hard, and I remain what Eve sternly calls a steady drinker. I did a dry January quiz, an alcohol awareness quiz, and a liver screening test. Eve oversaw the process, adjusting the answers for my wishful biases. The results all expressed concern. I was at risk of liver disease, mildly obese, in need of change. You would benefit from making some changes to your drinking. Okay, fine. I downloaded the Dry January app and signed up for Love Your Liver Awareness Month too. I found myself pledging to the liver people to run 4 times a week for the next 31 days. So far, so good. It was January 1st after all. Next day, while the kids busied themselves with lateral flow tests, they were old hands by now, I slipped away to read something by Isaac Asimov, on what is both his birthday, possibly, he was never quite sure, and National Science Fiction Day, January 2nd. I chose Nightfall because it was voted best sci-fi story of all time by the Science Fiction Writers of America. My writers group has several sci-fi experts, and I've often sat in awe as they discuss the logical possibilities of alien parthenogenesis or the mechanics of constructing an escalator to the edge of outer space. I emailed a couple for their thoughts. Science fiction is a playground where we can speculate on possible new futures for our species. We can extrapolate current trends and technologies and see where they might take us, said Alex. It tells you a lot about our changing obsessions. The subtext of 1950s alien invasion stories was the threat of Soviet expansionism, whereas today's classics, like Kim Stanley Robinson's Ministry for the Future and John Lanchester's The Wall, focus on climate change. Science fiction can indulge a nostalgia for a future that never happened, gleaming skyscrapers and monorails, jetpacks, and spaceships edging towards the planets, said Martin. But at its best, it gives a sense of wonder, a vertiginous feeling for the vastness and strangeness of the universe and our place in it. It is the sense of the sudden light of a distant alien star falling upon us that gives it its moments of sublimity.